Okay, this is a response video to something called Science Assham. Assham. Why did they even Assham do science? It seems there should be a rule against that.
This episode was made possible by generous supporters on Patreon.
Fucking retards, I guess. Fucking retards saying this is good crap. It's crap. Science. Crap. Crap.
I imagine a lot of you feel like you know what a photon is. It's just a packet of energy or whatever.
Ah, yes, that's what you assholes keep doing to everything. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, everybody likes a little bit of a joke here and there. A little bit of a Barney the Dinosaur moment, but this, I couldn't get through 2 minutes of this video. It's just fucking... It's insulting intelligence. Overtly.
But you know what happens when you assume. You make a mistake. Sometimes. Calling a photon a packet of energy isn't wrong. It's just not very useful.
Yeah. Calling it bent space isn't very useful. Calling them virtual photons causing magnetism isn't very useful. Talking about some stupid entanglement that's unprovable is kind of useless. Yes, it all sounds like a pile of crap.
Because everything is a packet of energy. I have something in...
Well, that's just stupid. Sorry. But it's just is kind of stupid, because everything isn't doing something unless something hits it. And so some things are just saying, I'm minding my own business. I probably could find some things in the universe that are just saying, I'm minding my own business.
This box. Can you guess what it is? No? Here's a hint. It's a collection of atoms. Did that help? Probably not.
Gee, another funny joke. I'm hilarious. We need all these stupid graphics to tell really bad jokes and just waste people's time. Thank you. Just dumb it down, right? Just demonstrate that we do exist in idiocracy. Nobody will ever talk about anything in any kind of rational way ever again. There seems to be only the two extremes. People who talk insane gibberish and people who turn everything into, like, well, if I can't explain it by stacking ABC blocks on top of each other, it can't be explained.
Surprise! It's a squirrel. My point is, there's a better way to describe photons. Yes, it's a packet of energy, but it's the details about that energy that make it a photon.
Yeah, so you don't even know what energy is. The details about that energy, right? That energy. So why don't you point out the really important detail, which is gravity and light and magnetism are all moving at the same speed, and that electricity sort of wants to. You can feel that electricity really wants to move at that same speed. So why don't you for a moment and figure out that maybe it's the same shit.
How should we tackle this? I think the top-down approach is going to work best. Reduction.
100,000 subscribers for this gimmicks, just gimmick after gimmick after gimmick. Jump cutty little bullshitty fucking nonsense. This is what people consume. This is how they want to be fed. They want to be fed this stupid pink Twinkies. You're all eating a bunch of pink Twinkies. You're disgusting. You're humiliating your brains.
Basically, it's the idea of starting with something normal-sized and then breaking it up until you find its smallest pieces. What you might call its elementary pieces. Honestly, this is how we came up with quantum physics in the first place.
Right, nonsense. That's right, a stupid assumption that everything's the same. Yes, everything is the same. It's just made of the sameness, so everything's a bent space. Some sort of bullshit. Clearly, there's something going the speed of light. Lots of little force stuff. The stuff we could put in the category of forces. They seem to be going really, really fast, and everything else seems to be dragging way behind. Maybe you could use that as a starting point.
So it seems like a great place to start. Elementary particles are like bite-sized pieces of something ordinary. Kind of like how this video series comes in bite-sized pieces of quantum physics. It's almost like I planned this or something.
Oh man, this is scarily creepy and weird. 100,000 subscribers for this horse shit. 231,000 views for garbage.
Anyway, a photon is the smallest piece of light. Like you might
I'm trying so hard to be interesting and funny.
find coming out of a flashlight, like this. Can I have the flashlight? Do you remember what happened the last time I gave a flashlight to a clone? I wonder what this...
No, they would not clone you. Look at your profile. You look like a psycho killer. No offense, but shit, you look like a psycho killer. Like you could have been in One Who Flew Over This Cuckoo's Nest and you wouldn't even need any makeup. No problem. Yeah, you look crazy. You win.
Button does. Ah, turn it off, turn it off! Behave!
More, just joke, stupid, not nearly funny enough.
What if I promise to behave?
Oh, God. Oh. Too gay. Too gay.
Alright, we'll try this one more time. Okay, back to...
Alright, so who would think that was funny? Like some kind of retarded girl or something. Wahoo!
Business. A beam of light is one of those normal-sized things I was talking about earlier. It's something we can see with our...
We can see beams of light? Huh? No, you're seeing the light that didn't stay in the beam. It's not in the beam. The light you see isn't in the beam anymore. It's the reject light. You're not seeing a beam of light. You're seeing the light that didn't do the beam thing at all. It just said, screw this, I'm not doing beam.
Our eyes. Something the size of us. But if we're going to understand it like a quantum physicist...
Oh, man, these are just... Who wrote this? Oh, man, Jesus. Oh, God, this is so creepy. So bad. This is like the worst stand-up ever in the history of mankind.
Physicist. We need to break it into smaller and smaller parts until we find something we...
You've said that about 17 times now already, right? That's 2 minutes into this video. Yeah, we get it. Photons are really small. Okay, what else have you said so far? Nothing!
Can't break anymore. Light beams are giant collections of many electromagnetic waves.
Oh, says you. So they just say this horseshit with nothing. They got nothing to defend any of that. All they got is a simulation. Oh, they're sort of like fish going opposite directions. I mean, fuck. I mean, really? So all this buffoonery to just sit there and say, look, a photon is this thing where it's made out of two strings and the strings are going opposite, perpendicular to each other, kind of bullshit. Oh yeah, that sounds like something that'll bounce off a piece of dust and fly into my eye, that snaky thing. Sure it will.
If we focus on one of those waves, we can see a repeating pattern. One cycle of that pattern looks like this. That's one wavelength of that wave.
So again, this oscilloscope drawing of reality that doesn't have anything to do with quantum physics. So where's your quantum? So that's your quantum. Your quantum is this, I'll just cut the piece out of the snake and call that an element. Well, obviously your elements are fucked up if that's what you think elemental physics is that you take a snake and you cut the middle out of it and you say, there's elements. No, that's not how it's supposed to work.
There really isn't anything smaller than this for a wave. Is that what a photon is, then? No. We have a...
Then, all right, so you just said it and now you're saying no. Okay, brilliant. Just fucking brilliant.
Light problem. Light waves can be anywhere on the EM spectrum, including the low-frequency end like radio waves. A single radio wavelength...
People don't like to call that light, though, idiot. So you don't say light waves can be anywhere. You say electromagnetic snaky things. That's what you say. But obviously, if you had a brain, you'd say that's horse shit. Okay, photon. Let's just say photon, and let's leave this bullshit out of the whole point. Let's just say there's energy, and then there's distance, and then there's energy, and there's the distance between the bits of energy, and that's the wavelength.
Can be as large as a small city. I find it hard to believe that a single photon could ever be that big.
Right, good. So you finally, somebody, you actually realized that, hey, you know what? That explanation doesn't sound very plausible that you have a 4-mile long or 20-mile long snake. Ton.
Maybe we're looking at this all wrong.
Yes, maybe you are. But you're doing it all wrong, in my opinion. So who are you talking to? You're having a conversation with who? This is how you would talk to Albert Einstein. Hey, Albert, I got a new theory. I got a way of looking at things. Can I perform it for you? You know, it's like squirrels coming out of, you know, badly drawn boxes and stuff. And I'll, yeah, I'll have conversation. Yeah.
I seem to remember saying something important earlier. Yes, it's a packet of energy, but it's the details about that energy that make it a photon. Right.
Right, and you people have no clue about a detail, and you have no clue about your obligation to, you know, create conservation of reasonableness. You know, so instead of having like saying, well, yeah, this stuff has to kind of connect. You know, you have gravity moving the same speed as the photons. Yeah, it's kind of silly to call that bent space then. And wouldn't it be very coincidental that bent space is doing the same exact thing that the electromagnetic wavy snakes are doing? So the wavy snakes move exactly the same speed as bent space? Gee, that doesn't sound a little bit... Well, that seems improbable.
Isn't about the space something takes up. Elementary particles like photons don't really have any size anyway.
Oh, yes, right. The thing that has no size. It just brilliant. It's as long as a city, but it doesn't have any size, and it doesn't have any position, and it doesn't really exist. I mean, how do people consume this horse shit? He has a little thing here, a little picture, advanced theoretical physics. So this is what the advanced retards do. This is the accelerated retard class.
This is about energy. It's the energy we have to break into pieces.
Oh, gee, okay. So we won't worry about energy having to be a quanta anymore because it doesn't have to. We can just call anything energy, and we'll just say that's energy. Right, so we just cut things in half and call that energy.
Let's start with a standard incandescent light bulb. This one is 60 watts. That means it transforms 60 joules of electrical energy into heat and light.
So he's doing all this nonsense, and he's talking about joules now, like somebody watching this tripe would be interested in what it, you know, have any clue what that means, you know.
Every second. Incandescent bulbs are terribly inefficient though, so only about 10% of that actually becomes light.
Well, unless you want to heat something, then they're pretty efficient. So if you don't mind, in the winter, they're pretty efficient.
When you turn it on, 6 joules of light leave the bulb every second. But that spreads out in all possible directions. Eventually, we're going to see gaps between those pieces. Those tiny little pieces of light energy are called photons, but the amount of energy...
Yes, those rays. See, so instead of saying waves, what you could just say is they're little rays. Okay, but they're really, really little. So there's a lot of them. Billions and billions for every little light bulb.
The energy they have is very small. You can calculate it using E equals hf. The h is Planck's constant, which is extremely small. The f is frequency, which tells you what type of light it is. And in the visible range, it tells you color. So the energy of a...
Yeah, so again, the nonsense theory. The energy of a photon is its frequency. Which is just stupid, when logically I can point out that bullets don't have different energies. But if I shoot 5 bullets in 1 second, or I shoot 2 bullets in 1 second, obviously the 5 bullet ray is going to have more energy in it because there's 5 bullets versus just 2 bullets in the other ray of bullets. I mean, again, you need to go back to the rudimentary, you know, back to school.
Photon is a constant times its color. For that 60-watt light bulb, that's 10 million trillion photons per second. Woo! That's a lot of photons.
So yeah, that another funny joke, right? Okay, I was wearing a funny hat. You ought to wear a hat, actually. This whatever painted head thing, just this.
Individual photons don't have that much energy. You have to get really far away to notice the gaps between them. Let's say you move away from the sun at an unimaginable speed and somehow manage to avoid any of Einstein's relativity. Eventually, way out in space, you'll start to notice the sun's light flicker. What you're seeing are individual photons. Actually, the human optic nerve doesn't send a signal to the brain unless 9 photons...
Oh, gosh. You know, there's like some sort of like cringe. Yeah, that's it. Cringe factor. The cringe factor is just so high. I'm cringing watching this. So obviously, I think he's going to get to the point that we react to a length of photon, an amount of photon. So that's the whole catch, right? We're calling it a photon, but really it has to have a volume to it. And 1, 2, 3, 4 has to have a number of bullets. So we have to get hit by 3 or 4 bullets before our brain can recognize that we got hit by something. So little rays of light we can't see. Big rays. Yes.
Time to arrive within 100 milliseconds. You have to ruin everything, don't you? I don't ruin things. I make them more accurate.
Oh.
Alright, so humans can't see individual
I mean, I can feel my pancreas turning.
photons, but that actually explains a few things. If you move away from the sun like we did earlier, you can't see the flicker of the photons. So at about 750 light years, the sun's light will just fade away into the blackness of space. That's why the night sky is mostly black, lit by just a few nearby stars. The rest of the photons are just too infrequent for us to see. So what the heck is a photon? Right.
Too separated in their divergence. That's the trick. So the further away you go, the separation between the individual rays of light gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's a point where, yeah, you're not going to see that thing because the number of photons that are ever going to hit you are going to be so small that you won't ever be able to acknowledge the ones that actually do get to you because it's just too little energy.
Stay focused, Nick. There are a lot of little packets of energy floating around in the universe. What makes them photons is all in the details, my dear crazies. Photons have a specific set of properties that make them photons.
So he's not going to get to that in this video, right? He's almost done with the video. A specific set of properties for which I've ambiguously referenced in some sort of wavy thingy that I didn't think was exactly right.
A charge of 0, a spin of 1 with 2 possible orientations, and lastly, a rest mass of...
So they just make up some more crap that doesn't have anything to do with reality. You know, no real experiment says anything like this is happening. Spinning and such.
0, which makes many things about photons possible. Their speed of almost 300 million meters per second, their energy being proportional to their momentum,
which has nothing to do with all that crap. So again, just making up bullshit that somehow they figured out why photons travel, 300 million meters per second when they haven't figured any of that out.
And their inability to experience time or space. Any little...
So more nonsense. They can't experience time or space, but somehow you can bend them at twice the rate of any other object in the universe. So by Einstein's silly math, photons are especially sensitive to gravity. So here they have no volume, they have no reality, and yet they're twice as likely to fall down. Yeah, twice as likely.
A packet of energy with those properties is by definition a photon. So, got any questions?
No, no rational definition, by silly science definitions. Not anything. Not anything within the realm of we've proven it or we've demonstrated it with a preponderance of evidence. Nothing close to a truth theory. This is like some jackass 1,000 years ago talking some dopey religion and just saying, well, because nobody else has a better theory, I can just talk complete shit. And that's all they're doing.
Questions? Please ask in the comments. Thanks for liking and sharing this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like.
Right, that's all the intelligent people need to be. You have to explain to them how they have to do all these things. There's a subscribe button. I know you don't know how to spell subscribe, but it's red and it's over there, and you hit that button and then you will get to see more of my funny videos. Ha ha ha. I mean, so you're admitting that your videos are for imbeciles. I'm making videos to entertain idiocracy. I don't give a fuck about the truth. I don't give a fuck about anything having integrity or being, uplifting the human condition or doing anything rational. I just want to feed morons.
Like to keep up with us. And from one packet of energy to another, remember, it's okay to be a little crazy.
Whatever that means. You know, I mean, crazy like what? Like you'll just shit on the kitchen table. Is that it? Because you're shitting on science. You're not doing science. You're just your fake little lab coat and your fake pretense of look, I have bookshelves with some books on them and stuff. So I somehow care. Bullshit. Stupid ass ham.
Several people asked about the red-blue kind of 3D glasses. One, they're not red and blue, they're red and cyan, because those are opposite colors. Together, they make white. Two, they use color filters to block one of the images instead of polarizers. So they don't really work on color images, only black and white ones. Anyway, crazies, thanks for watching.
It's very exciting. Alright, so anyway, just a horrible... I mean, what the heck is a photon? Did he come anywhere close to giving you any insight into what a photon is? Any insight to how it reacts with the thing that does most often, which is have to hit an electron and you know, have the electron absorb its energy and then re-release its energy at some later moment. And all, no, did he go into anything that photons are, that make photons meaningful? I mean, without their interaction with electrons, photons don't do anything. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. All right, anyway. It wouldn't be a word in our vocabulary. It wouldn't be. They'd be totally inert to our existence. All right. So, yeah, that's all. It's just so bad. So I guess I should see these other channels. They're so bad. I probably should subscribe to them just so I can keep up on what kind of horse shit they're spewing. So maybe I'll subscribe to that crap. Fermi Lab. Well, they're really bad. I don't know if I could stand it. Well, I'll do it. Minute Physics. 4.5 million subscribers for garbage videos. Videos by Eugene. 389,000 subscribers. Amazing. It's okay to be smart. 2.5 million. Amazing. I don't even know what this is. Kurzurgergerut in a nutshell. 7.5 million. So here's some SciShow in Gloop. So it's a gloopy. 4.5 million. Alright, well, I'll unsubscribe later. Yeah. Oh, this is so depressing. So very, very depressing. 3 blue, 1 brown. I heard of that one before, so I'll subscribe to that one just so I can put that on the list of... No, you are so wrong. You pretentious, arrogant fucks. Alright. Oh, look, he mentions his Patreons. So, Nicoloe. So it's probably some silly chick who likes people who look like insane people. Rick Finn. Morgan Williams. Daniel Bohr. Dumb fucks. Why are you paying him to be a moron? I mean, really, the worst comedian on earth. Anyway, it's enough. There's nothing you can do. World is just it's probably close to unsalvageable.